Hello, my name is Nagasapuraj. Today I am going to talk about avalanches. Avalanches are avalanches are a avalanches is the rapid flow of snow down a slope such as hill and a mountain. And the avalanches can be set off simultaneously by such factors such as increasing precipitation or a snowpack weakening, or by external means such as human beings or animals or an earthquake, and can also primarily composed of flowing snow, air, and large avalanches have capability to capture moving ice, rocks, and the trees. And the avalanches generally occur in two forms, which are slab avalanches and the loose snow avalanches. In the slab avalanches, the snow is tightly packed together and is triggered by collapsing of underlying weak snow layer. And in the loose avalanches, the snow is made up of loose layer. After being set off, the avalanches usually accelerate rapidly and grow in mass and volume as they capture more snow. If the avalanche move faster enough, some of the snow may mix with the air or powdered snow, and the avalanche is formed. This is the general example of the avalanche. Now we will see how mainly the avalanche formation of the avalanches. Most avalanches forms during storms and due to melting of lower snow area, layer due to radiation of sun or artificial triggers like humans or some animals or snowmobiles. The avalanche can start at any point. A small amount of snow will move initially, then the snow will grow in large size and may even take out a whole village with it. The snow will fail. However, the strength of the snowpack is much more difficult to determine than seeing how much size it will grow. The avalanche is having occurs due to the temperature and heat flux and top of the snowpack. This is the avalanche. We have to know this is the avalanche example, and we have to know these are the four factors. These are the four factors which leads to snow avalanches, which are terrain, weather, humans, and snowpack. This is the triangle. This is the triangle of avalanche formation. The human involvement in the avalanche. We have to know what we have to do to prevent and to disrupt the flow of avalanches. The avalanches will have to prevent avalanches, we have to know mitigation. Mitigation is something called as mitigation in regular avalanche tracks can be identified and precautions can be taken to minimize the damages, such as prevention of development in these areas. To mitigate the effect of avalanches, the construction of artificial barriers can be very effective in reducing avalanche damages. These are several types. One kind of barrier uses a net or other string, and these barrier anchors are used to hold the rocks from sliding. Another type of barrier is a ridged fence-like structure or snow fence. It is used by constructing steel and wood. The barriers can also be used to deflect the avalanche backside, and these barriers are made out of concrete, water, rocks and earth. They are usually placed right above the structures and road and highway. The earth mounds are placed in the avalanche path to slow it down, and finally along transportation corridors. Now, next is early warning systems. In early warning systems, we can detect the avalanche which develops slowly, such as ice avalanches can be caused by the ice falls from the glaciers. The interferometric radars or high resolution cameras or motion sensors can monitor unstable areas over a long term, lasting for days to years. Experts interpret the recorded data and are able to recognize occurring ruptures in order to initiate appropriate measures. Such as example, we have to take an example. In Switzerland, they monitor the glacier, and they conduct advanced surveys in advance before the avalanche happens, where in Switzerland most amount of avalanches happen. And alarm systems. In alarm systems, they use complex alarm systems are able to detect avalanches within a short time and order close, such as roads and rails, and are evacuated endangered areas. Examples of such systems is installed only access road in Switzerland. 2 radar monitors the slope of mountain above the surface, and the system automatically closes the road by activating several barriers and the traffic lights within seconds, such as no people are harmed. Survival and rescue we have to encourage people, or we have to educate the people for survival and rescue of the recovery. The avalanche accidents are broadly differentiated of 2 types. One is accident in recreational systems and accident in residential, industrial, transportation settings. The distinction is motivation by observing the difference in cause of avalanches accidents in 2 settings. All the avalanches, because of the difference of causing of avalanche accident, the activities pursued in 2 settings, the avalanche and disaster professionals have developed 2 strategies which works to save the people. And next is this is the road sign which says it is an avalanche area, and this is mitigation. Where barrels are placed here. Barrels are placed areas where there will be a avalanche for sure. And these are the different signs developed by the government or the International Danger Society or North American avalanche scale, which is extremely high, considerable, moderate and low. These are the different travel signs. These are the different terrain signs which are placed on the terrains to look after in the snowy areas, which is to avoid all the avalanche terrain, which is very dangerous. Avalanche terrain, it may cause in any form, and the avalanche size can also be detected by using these signs. We can also predict the avalanche by using temperature. We can see that if the temperature reaches high, then the impact will be more. Then the impact of the avalanche will be more. Then the danger of the avalanche will be more, and considerably extremely steep too. If the steep also increases, the risk will be very high. Then we have to know how to survive an avalanche. To survive an avalanche, we need to know simple basic steps, which is signal acquisition, course search, find search, pinpoint search, shovel, and take care of the victim. And caring for the victim, we have to know how to take care of ourselves, which is get torso free at once and establish breathing, access for the injuries and treat accordingly, access for the hypothermia and treat accordingly, quickly extricate to safe place and arrange for the transport. This is the avalanche survival rate versus burial time, which is if we are buried inside the avalanche, this is the time which you will stay alive. Which is if we were buried in 0 seconds, you are alive. As the time increases, as it hits 150, it goes to 0. The ideal time is in between 0 to 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, the hypothermia hits to the person. So we have to avoid the hypothermia at all costs. And thank you.
Perfekt. Någon flott fluttkant kommer ner på, ser ut som kommer ner på bägge sidor. Kommer ut med 100 meter.
Oj. Fy fan. Man bara beklaga att det skälver lite här på filmen. Shit, det är snö som kommer ned. Det är inte bara stöv ser det ut den här gången.
Ska det bli spännande att se, för det såg ut som det gick en stråle väldigt på torkesidan. Ja, det är klart torkesidan. Jag hoppas snart att man igen. Större än också.
Kommer snöchocken ganska fort, så man tror jag avbryter väldigt snart. Va? Ja. Ja, det är så. Ja, jag syns jag hørte det knaka noe oppi.